Hi everyone, welcome back to Daily Recaps. Today, I am going to explain an interesting Thai film called Bad Genius. Hope you like it. Enjoy the video and take care. Film starts and we see a girl named Lynn. Lynn is a top secondary school student. She has been living with her father all this time. And one day her father enrolls her to a new prestigious school. She does not, however, want to attend because the tuition and other costs will be prohibitively expensive for them. Because Lynn is valuable to the school for being so smart, the principal gives her a scholarship so that she can study there. While taking photos for her ID, she meets with Grace, a good-natured but academically challenged girl. They have become good friends since then. Unlike Lynn, she is not very smart but she is quite good in other things, like her acting skills during extracurricular in her school. She informs Lynn that there is a new rule at the school in the library. The overall average must be close to 3.2 to pass the grade. Grace informs her that she will undoubtedly fail the test as a result. She asks Lynn to assist her in the test because she is aware that Lynn is a smart girl. Lynn learns on test day that the questions on the exam exactly match those the teacher revealed during the private tutoring sessions. She looks at Grace as well, realizing she can't properly respond to the questions. She chooses to assist her by jotting down the right responses on an eraser and handing it to Grace with her shoes. They almost get caught by the teacher, but luckily Lynn gets over the problem. At the end, Grace gets a 3.87 GPA, while Lynn gets a 4 GPA. To thank Lynn, Grace invites her to the pool party so they can celebrate their good grades. There, Lynn meets Grace's boyfriend, Pat. Unlike her, Pat is very rich. He learns from Grace that Lynn successfully helped his girlfriend in the exam. Because of this, he offers her a huge amount of money to help him and his friends cheat on another exam. Although at first reluctant, Lynn accepts the offer when later she finds out that the school secretly collected extra fees from her father, who earns a modest income as a teacher. Soon, she devises a system of hand signals based on certain piano keys. As Lynn presses the keys, each pattern of pressing will represent the letters A, B, C, and D. The others just need to remember the pattern while Lynn uses them to send answers during exams. Therefore, her base of clients eventually grows. From the money she has earned, she buys her father a new shirt. She hides everything from her father by passing it off as regular piano lessons. Bank, a talented student at the school, has always been Lynn's adversary. Because he comes from a low-income family, the school also awards him a scholarship. He has a different characteristic from Lynn. He is very honest and he does not tolerate cheating during exams. Later, he is paired with Lynn in a competition and they are able to win it. After that, they are called by the principal who informs them that there is a scholarship abroad that they can apply for. Since there is only one slot, they have been competitors since that point. It turns out that Bank's mother owns a laundromat when he gets home. He later finds out that the washing machine was damaged, forcing his mother to wash the clothes by hand. He offers to help his mother wash clothes because he is feeling unbearable. The following day, Tong, a different student, approaches him. He explains to Bank that he missed class yesterday because he was sick, and after that he makes Bank an offer to pay for some study materials. Of course, Bank declines. During the examination, Bank accidentally sees Tong looking at Lynn's paper. Then he decides to warn her about Tong's behavior. On the other hand, Lynn already knows it because Tong is one of the people who applied her piano lesson. Afterwards, Bank also warns the teacher as he submits his answers in front of the class, but the teacher does not care about it because the test is separate into Set A and Set B to overcome cheating. Meanwhile, Lynn finishes her exam first, which is Set A, as she simultaneously sends answers to her friends using the hand signals. While the teacher is not looking at her, she uses the opportunity to exchange her paper with Tong, which is Set B. She quickly answers all the questions on Set B as the time is almost over. Surprisingly, she has enough time to pass the answers to her remaining friends. After the exam, she gets caught when Bank warns the principal about the cheating earlier. Thus, her father is also called to the school. The principal informs her father what she has done before. As punishment, the school suspends her scholarship. Furthermore, she retaliates the principal by saying that it was not a full scholarship anyway because there are other expenses that they had to pay. The principal, infuriated by what she said, also withdraws her opportunity to submit an application for a university-level international scholarship. Bank now has exclusive access to the international scholarship, a decision he regrets because it deprives Lin of the opportunity to apply. When she gets home, her father is so disappointed in her, causing him to not want to wear his new clothes again. He also tells her to return the money back to her friends. In the last school year, Grace invites her again to participate in cheating. This time it is not an ordinary exam, but an international standardized test for university admissions called SDIC. Grace also tells her that Pat's parents want her and Pat to study in Boston University, so passing the SDIC test will prove they are eligible to study there. Lin initially declines the invitation because it is a very hard test, but then she agrees when she realizes that they can take advantage of the different time zones. They come up with a brilliant scheme the next morning. Lin can take the exam in Australia, where it is given 4 hours in advance, then send the results back to Thailand, where she can sell them to other students who want to take the exam. She also claims that she can memorize the majority of the responses. She requires assistance from someone, though, for the remaining solutions. She therefore needs someone with the mental capacity to memorize the answers, in this case Bank. In addition, she is already aware that Bank will decline the invitation because of his abhorrence of dishonesty. The night before Bank takes his scholarship exam, he is attacked by thugs in the street, and he is thrown in a landfill the next morning, which causes him to not take his exam. Knowing about this, Lin comes to Bank's place and offers him the job. He initially refuses her offer, but then he agrees for the money he desperately needs. That night, they make preparations for the final operation. The plan is that both Lin and Bank will fly to Australia in order to get a head start on the exams. During break time, they will go to the bathroom where they hide their cell phone to deliver the answers back to Grace and Pat. Meanwhile in Thailand, Pat and Grace will print out the answers in barcode printed on pencils. Then the pencils will be distributed to their clients, which in this case are SDIC test participants. Nevertheless, on the eve of their flight, Pat slips out that he's the one who ordered the thugs to beat up Bank, in order to force him to join their scheme. Feeling enraged, Bank immediately attacks Pat. Pat then attempts to apologize, but Bank decides to leave in rage. Lin, who is also shocked at the revelation, begins reconsidering her actions and chases Bank. However, he returns to confront Lin and tells her to finish what she started. Consequently, they continue their plan. They eventually make it to Sydney to take the exam later. Both of them complete their tests in the first section before the break, giving them more time to memorize their responses. But during break time, Bank suddenly tells Pat and Grace to raise his share in order to send his answers for them. Pat is reluctant at first, but Grace persuades him to fulfill his wish. He then delivers half of the money and promises that he will give the rest after Bank sends the answers. Back to Lin and Bank. They successfully finish their second sections, but there are problems during their second break. Bank's odd behavior of overstaying his allotted time in the restroom during the break has been observed by the inspecting officer. However, Lin is forced to send her responses late due to a line in the women's restroom. As a result, Bank is apprehended by the police officer, but Lin escapes by carrying her phone, concealing it on her boots, and ultimately hiding it inside a water dispenser. She then continues her final section without Bank, and she has to memorize all the answers by herself. Because she is running out of time, she makes herself vomit by using a pencil and then tells the officer that she is sick. She leaves early as she memorizes the answers completely. Meanwhile, the officer who caught Bank also tries to pursue her in order to know that they are connected. While being chased, she is sending the answers on her cell phone. She also almost fails to send the last set of the answers when someone bumps into her, but fortunately she is able to do so. Afterwards, the officer finally catches her, asking her to come with him for questioning. During the interrogation, Bank motions her to leave him by denying that he doesn't know her. Returning to Thailand, Lin is happily greeted by Pat and Grace and also finds out that their scheme was a great success, but she turns on them and rejects her share of the money due to her bad experience in Sydney. They still celebrate along with the other participants who had passed the SDIC test. Lin is informed that Bank has already taken his share, but she then exits the group chat. Sometime later, she is invited by Bank to come to his place. It seems like he has invested his share in revamping his mother's laundry business. Then, Bank advises her to launch a new scheme. He also assures her that the clientele will be larger and the situation will be much safer this time. When she turns him down, bank threatens her to expose the whole affair, that she was another mastermind behind the last scheme. Lynn then tells him again that she has made her choice, deciding to come clean. Later, she tearfully confesses to her father, and father comforts her and also helps her to redeem herself by submitting a formal confession to SDIC organization. That's all from the movie. Thanks for watching. If you want more interesting videos like this, then hit like and subscribe to support the daily recaps. See you again. Take care.